Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, thank you for joining. We're in the Bhagavad Gita summary study program. My name is Patita Pavan Balaram Das. I'm from the Bhakti Riksha team. We completed until how many? 14 chapters. No, I think
16.
16 chapters. Yeah, we have to read from chapter 16. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll get started. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we are in the Gita Gyan program, discussing on a very high level the different chapters to spark the interest in everyone to read Bhagavad Gita more deeply. Before we discuss about any spiritual topics, we'll say a few prayers. I'm sharing my screen. Please read, unmute, and we can all say it together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
श्रीगुरवे नमः।
नमो
नमः
ॐ
ॐ
विष्णुपादाय
विष्णुपादाय
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले
भूतले
श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त
स्वामिनिति नामिने
स्वामिनिति नामिने।
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वती
सरस्वते
देवे
देवे
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
गौरवाणी
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी
शून्यवादी
पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
देशतारिणे।
जय श्री
जय श्री
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
चैतन्य
चैतन्य
प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर
गदाधर
श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासादि
गौरभक्तवृंद
गौरभक्तवृंद।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
राम
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 हरे
राम
हरे
हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
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 हरे।
हरे
हरे राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
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 हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
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 कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे हरे
हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
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 हरे।
So we are dedicating this program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Because of him only, we got the opportunity. Many people in the world got the opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita in English because Sanskrit is the language in which it was written, but not many people know Sanskrit. And of course, there were some languages that some previous acharyas in India also translated to, like Hindi and those languages. But since Prabhupada translated to English, it has got widespread uh, reach. So every town and village in this whole world got the opportunity to get the book. And this is the book that we are reading, Bhagavad Gita as it is actually the book that is present in all the university libraries in USA. Um, and that has very detailed explanation, like the word-to-word translation, the full translation, as well as the purport for us to understand what the verse is means and how we can understand it properly. We are inspired to do this program by His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj. He is a senior member in ISKCON and he is also a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. We have been doing this program by glorifying the Bhagavad Gita, so we are also going to do today's chapter by taking his reference from a scripture, Sri Vaishnava Tantra Shara, glorifying Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You can please say after me, Gita Patam Sat Shravanam
Gita
गीतापठं च
Padam
श्रवणं
Yah
Ravanam
Yah Karoti Dine Dine
यः करोति दिने
Yakaroti
दिने
Dine Dine
Kratavo Vajimedadya
क्रतवो
Kratovo
वाजिमेधाद्या
Vajimedadya
Krutastena Sadakshinaha.
कृतस्तेन स
Kritasena
दक्षिणः।
Sadakshinaha.
Anyone wants to read the translation?
Great sacrifices such as the Ashwamedha, along with their remunerations, are naturally achieved by one who daily hears and recites the Gita.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So we don't have to do great yagnas like the Ashwamedha yagna. All we have to do is just read Bhagavad Gita either here or read daily, and we get all the benefits of doing those yagnas. So we'll do a quick recap after chapter 15. Anyone remembers the name of the chapter?
The yoga of the supreme power.
Purushottama Yoga.
Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the supreme person. Three times Hari Bol to Archisa Mataji and Navin to Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hari
Hare
Bol, Hari
Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hare
Bol.
Bol,
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
So in here, Krishna gives us an analogy for us to easily understand the difference between the spiritual world and the material world. He says that there is a tree which is inverted, the roots upwards, the branches downwards, with full of leaves and branches, and that what we can see or in this material world is a reflection. When a tree is standing on the edge of a lake, we can see the reflection, and the reflection of the tree appears to be exactly like what is described here as an inverted tree. And Krishna is saying that is the material world. The real tree is in the spiritual world, which is the real, our real constitutional position is in the spiritual world. This is, we are in Maya, where we are thinking this is real, but this is not. It is an illusion. Uh, it, and as soon as illusion means Maya, as soon as we come out of our illusion, we understand who is our real self, which is a soul, and we go back home, back to Godhead. And the description of the spiritual world is there is all the planets in the spiritual world are self illuminated. There is no need of sun, moon, or any other source of light. And due to the conditional nature of the living entity, even though we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, uh, we are struggling with our six senses, which includes the mind, the five gross senses, and the mind is also counted as a sense here. And based on the different conceptions of life, means based on the different thoughts that we have and our desires that we have and the karma that we did, we develop a kind of it's called vasana, means like a kind of attachment to different things, and based on that we get different types of bodies. So that also analogy was given, which is like the smell, the fragrance of a flower is carried by the air. Similarly, our vasana, we say in the scriptures, our desires and our different kinds of propensities are all carried by the Daiva Netrana, by the super soul from one body to another. Even though they say that you come empty handed, leave empty handed, yes, that is from the gross body standpoint, but we come with a subtle body and we keep going with the subtle body. Unless and until the subtle body also drops off, we cannot realize our true self. It is still an engagement of the soul, the subtle body. And Krishna is giving the he's telling about what everything is done based on is done by him only, and he is the sun, moon, he says in the previous verse, and he also says he is the one that is helpful for digestion, the fire in the stomach for everyone that digests the food. And he is seated in everyone's heart, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivisto. Because of him only, we get Smritir Gnanam Apohanancha, means knowledge, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And this is very important. Vedaisha Sarvair Ahameve Vedyo Vedantakrit Vedaviteva Chaham. All the Vedas are meant for knowing Krishna only. And he is the compiler of the Vedanta and he is the knower of the Vedas. So means all the knowledge we are acquiring through Vedic study and everything is meant for understanding Krishna. If we approach Krishna, which means that we already understood all the essence of the Vedas, Vedanta. And we read that faith is important in taking us forward in the path of spiritual self-realization. The one that stops us in the path of self-realization or makes us go back is doubt. And the analogy we or the philosophical understanding that we took last when we met was the crow and the coconut. Even though a crow might have landed and the coconut just fell, people will make so many assumptions. I said inference in the last class, but assumptions is the right word. So we come up with so many assumptions, and those assumptions will lead us to make wrong decisions. Whether the crow landed or not, the coconut is meant to fall. So whatever is happening in our life, just because we took the path of self-realization, doesn't we don't get any. We start paying more attention and suddenly something happens. We said, oh, I was happily enjoying this life. Suddenly this I started taking the path of self-realization. These things are coming up. Maybe I'm not meant to take self-realization. That doubt comes. or somebody will say, some relatives will say, you have so much, I know about you, you are so great in handling this material. Example, like you are great in solving problems, you are great in helping people understand, helping people. Why all of a sudden you did this? You have so much life left. Why are you becoming an old man? Don't become a grandfather, grandmother, like that. So those are all the different doubts that will come. Am I doing the right thing, or am I doing? Is this the right time for me? Those are all doubts. We read from, so we know from Srimad Bhagavatam that Prahlad Maharaj says, uh, this path of self-realization must be taken up as early as possible, and by the age of 5 itself. So it's actually a very important thing, right? Let's say we came to this middle age, at least we should take up now. But we should, if we have kids, we should also make them take it up. Why? Because if you if you don't put any effort on making your kid uh, have discipline, or you make them spoiled, whatever things that we are accumulating for them, when they grow up, it's of waste, right? They spend it out, they don't know how to take care of it. And what is the use of all the effort that we are putting for them if we are not putting them in the right path? Putting them right path means, like, there are two things. One is, let's say we don't put self-realization as an importance. We think that, hey, let him study hard, become a doctor, engineer, get all the money and all. Let's say they become that, but if they are not compassionate, and if they are taking the wrong path again, and they become they are stuck in this material world again and again, means they create more misery to others, and that is a problem to the society also. But then let's say we are going to grow, keep them with good manners, and then make sure that this is the chapter we are going to read. We are going to have all, make sure they have all the divine qualities, stay away from the demoniac qualities. Then what happens? They become very kind people when they grow up, but we are in the Kali Yuga. Unfortunately, the timing is such. There is so much bad going around, and when they face all the bad around the society, even though they are kind people, nice people, they get taken advantage of, and they become depressed. So if they are self-realized, if they know that everything, this body is temporary, it is the soul that is permanent. Our goal is to get out of this material world. And if we at least make them interested in spiritual topics like reading Bhagavad Gita, or teaching them a musical instrument where they can do kirtan, or taking them on a pilgrimage once a year, going to some dham in India, or going visiting temple every weekly once, then gradually what happens? They become such a person, they can handle any situation in life, whether it is a positive situation or in negative situation where they face challenges in the life, they will be able to handle. Only by being self-realized, uh, the anybody as a human being can handle any situation. Otherwise, it's very difficult to handle the situations that we come across. So, for two things, we have to take up Krishna consciousness, and we have to ensure our kids also are taking up to the path of self-realization through Krishna consciousness. So that brings up to chapter 16, which is the divine and the demoniac natures. Okay, so let's see what Krishna says here. So Krishna is continuing the chapter. He is going to give a few qualities about divine nature, and then we'll go to the 16.1 later, but we'll start from 16.6. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Bhagavanuvacha
Dvau Bhuta Sargau Lokesmin
द्वौ
Dvau Bhuta Sargau
भूतसर्गौ
Lokesmin
लोकेऽस्मिन्
Daiva Asura Evacha
Daiva
दैव
Asura Evacha
आसुरेव च
Daivo Vistarasha Prokta
Daiva
दैवो विस्तरश्च
Vistarascha
प्रोक्ता
Asuram
Prokta
Asuram Partha Me Shrunu.
Asuram Partha Me
आसुरं
Shrunu.
Translation, anyone?
O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained you to at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me, O the demonic.
Demoniac. Thank you, Prabhu. So we can see, right? many of the chapters before, Krishna has given so many qualities of how we have to act, how we can be divine. In this chapter also, he summarizes them all the divine qualities in one verse. But now he is telling, "Oh Partha, now I'm going to tell about the demoniac qualities." So if we say, uh, basically, it is mentioned that the acharyas are someone who can assess both the good and bad in everything. uh, if we are only looking at the positive thing, we might not be able to guide the person. If we also tell what is the things that are bad, then the do's and the don'ts, just only telling the do's uh, is not complete information. We have to tell what the don'ts are also. So, in this material world, it is full of dualities like the happiness, distress, good, bad, um, name and fame and infamy. All those things are coming together like mutually opposites, like always there. Similarly, in this material world, there is both divine and demoniac qualities, and Krishna is going to elaborate those two in this chapter. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha
Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha
jananas vidur asuraha
janana vidur asuraha
na saucham napi chacharo
na saucham napi chacharo
na satyam teshu vidyate.
na satyam teshu vidyate.
Translation, anyone?
Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So what Krishna is saying is, the people who are demoniac, they don't know what is the thing they have to do and what is the thing they don't have to do. Why? Because they don't take any guidance. They don't approach a spiritual master. They don't read the scriptures. They, which guides them. They tells them what is right, what is wrong. So that's why they don't know that. And not only that, they are not clean in their behavior, and they're also no. There is no truthfulness in their behavior in them also. So when we say Satyam Saucham, um, this relates to what anyone knows, the four legs of Dharma. So we are in the Kali Yuga. So and then Kali resides in a few places. We'll see what those places are and how it relates to the four legs of Dharma. So the four legs of Dharma are mentioned as Satyam, Daya, Saucham, Tapa. Satyam stands for truthfulness. Daya stands for kindness. Saucham stands for cleanliness, and Tapa stands for austerity. And as and when the different ages started progressing, the legs of of Dharma started reducing. The, the Dharma is compared to a bull standing on four legs, and the four legs are Satyam, Daya, Saucham, Tapa. And in Satya Yuga, the first Yuga, the bull is standing on all four legs. Uh, Means everybody is austere, clean, truthful, and kind. And towards the end of Satya Yuga, the tapa, one of the leg was gone of bull, which is people are no longer austere. They don't have the ability to do tapasya, but they are still clean, kind, and truthful. Then, when the Treta Yuga came, and the Treta Yuga completed, the next leg, which is Saucham, also fell off, which is uh, the cleanliness, which is people are no longer clean like they were all doing. What are those? Non Like playing dice that we saw in Dwapara Yuga, right? And then, but this kindness is still there. But when the Dwapara Yuga also completes, even kindness is gone because you see family people, Pandavas and Kauravas fighting with each other, and there is no longer any kindness. They went to any extent of causing misery to the other people. So the only leg that is remaining in Kali Yuga is at least Satyam, truthfulness. People are at least still truthful because they are able to perform austerities. Be truthful and follow the law, and other scriptures still are there. And it is mentioned that towards the end of this Kali Yuga, even this Satyam, this leg will also go away. That's why when Kalki come will annihilate everyone who when the earth is filled up with all the other people. How are these related to the four legs of Dharma? So what we can understand is Maharaj Parikshit. He is the grandson of Yudhishthir. So he was the ruler of whole of Bharatavarsha when Dwapara Yuga was changing and Kali Yuga was coming, and Krishna goes back here to his abode. And when Maharaj Parikshit was going on his horse across a forest, he sees another person who is just like a king, but he is carrying a sword, and he cut off the three legs of the bull, and the bull is trying to stand on one leg, and he is about to cut the neck of the cow. And Maharaj Parikshit immediately becomes very angry because how is it possible that someone can cause misery to uh, the mother and father? Like cow and bull are compared to mother and father because they give milk, and the bull it helps us do agriculture and give the grains and everything. So he takes his sword and is about to kill Kali, and Kali then falls at his feet.
When you call and
And
then you say, don't do.
yeah, Kali falls at his feet, and then he pleads, "Oh, Maharaj Parikshit, you know that this is my time has started. You are not supposed to kill me." He says, "No, it is. I cannot allow you to hurt any animals, especially the cow and the bull. You have to die." Then they come to an understanding because Kali says that it is his time, and Maharaj Parikshit also knows that what he is saying is correct. But then they come with, he gives a provision. Okay, so you are going to Kali, you are going to stay in Kali asks, I'm going to stay in. No, no. So Maharaj Parikshit says that I'm going to give four places where you can reside. Other than that, you cannot reside anywhere, which is the place where gambling happens, the slaughterhouse, the brothel house, and the bars and liquor places. And then Kali says, "Oh, how Maharaj Parikshit, that's so unfair. When your kingdom is there, there are no places like this in your kingdom." Then he says, "No, that's fine. Those are the places I'm going to give. I'm no longer going to give any other places." And he goes away. What we can understand from that is these are the four places where Kali resides. If we are in Kali Yuga, if we uh, go to any of these places or associate with any of the places, people that go to these places, we come under the influence of Kali also. So what are those? Gambling, where like casinos and where things happen. And that is directly linked to Satyam because wherever there is gambling, then there is cheating. So it is breaking the one leg of Dharma here. Slaughterhouses, wherever there is mass killing of animals, that is exactly of breaking the leg of Daya. We no longer become kind. All the people in Kali Yuga are so much harsh and stone-hearted because of the slaughter of various animals and eating meat. The third one is brothel house, where there is no cleanliness. People associate, they don't follow the religious marriage principles. They associate with unclean women, men, etc. And that's why it breaks the Saucham leg. Finally, austerity means we have to have the steadfast determination. We cannot have austerity if we are not sober. If we are addicted to liquor and going to bar places, that leg is also broken. And that's why if you see these four things are also what the people in ISKCON strictly avoid. Those are called the four regulative principles. Besides the chanting, if we take up the path of Krishna consciousness that ISKCON is recommending, which is Prabhupada introduced to the West based on the Gaudiya mission, which is we stay away from gambling, we stay away from meat eating, we stay away from illicit relationships, and we stay away from complete intoxication, like any like intoxicants. And if you see, it's not like something we are great. All we are doing is two things. First thing is we are chanting so that we can go back home, back to Godhead. But while doing that, we are in Kali Yuga. In order to make sure the Kali's influence is not on us, we have to follow these four regulative principles also. Then it might, anyone who is initially introduced or attached to these things will find it very difficult. No, we don't have to worry about it. This chanting has the power, where if we start chanting, these things will automatically come. Don't worry about following these first. It's the other way around. If we start chanting, these things will automatically go away from our life, and these things will immediately come. And that is the power of the holy name. Idam adya maya labdam
Idam
idam
adya maya labdam
adya
imam
maya labdam
prapsye manoratham
imam
imam
prapsye
prapsye
manoratham
manoratham
idam asti idam api me
idam
idam
asti idam api
api
me
me
bhavishyati punardhanam
bhavishyati
bhavishyati
punardhanam
punardhanam
asau maya hatah shatrur
asau maya
asau maya
hatah
hatah
shatrur
shatur
hanishye chaparanapi
hanishye
hanishye
cha paranapi
shaparanapi
ishvaroham aham bhogi
ishvaroham aham
sarvaham
bhogi
bhogi
siddhoham balavan sukhi
siddhoham
siddhoham
balavan
balavam
sukhi
sukhi
adyo abhijanavan asmi
adyo
adyo
abhijanavan
abhijanaman
asmi
asmi
konyo asti sadrusho maya
konyosti
sti
tadrisho maya
sadrujasmaya
yakshe dasyami modisya
yakshe
yakshe
yaksye
dasyami
dasyami
modisya
ishya
iti agnana vimohitaha.
iti
iti
ajnana
agnana vimohitaha.
vimohitaha.
Translation, anyone?
The Imoak person thinks so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my scheme. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Right, thank you. So this is the thing that says aham mameti, means I and mine. The demoniac people always think that everything belongs to me. I am the controller. This is mine. This is mine. That kind of um, um, exploitative nature is what the demonic people have. Like we saw Duryodhana, right? He did not. He was not willing to give even inch of land to Pandavas when they came back from their 14 years of um, Aranyavas and Agnatavas. And then Ravana, we have seen how he thought that he is the controller. He brought all the demigods under his control. He thought there is nobody who can stop him. And so those are the demonic nature. And we can see those people are still here in this society who think that there is nobody that is going to stop them. Everything belongs to them. And they are perfect, they are powerful, they are happy. They are the richest in the society, and they surround themselves with aristocratic relatives. And besides that, they also say, oh, let me perform some sacrifices, I shall give some charity. We shall see in the next chapter how people who do charity also, demonic people also do charity, but how they do it in ignorance. And I shall rejoice. So thinking that there is no tomorrow, eat, sleep, and be merry, right? That kind of attitude where, oh, there is nothing who can stop me. And they are very unkind to the people, and they cause misery to others, and they don't even feel bad about that. All those people are very much demoniac. Tanaham dvishatah kruran
taan aham
Tanaham
Dvishata
dvishata
Puran
kuran
samsareshu naradaman
samsareshu
Samsareshu
naradaman
Naradaman
kshipamyajasram ashubhan
Shipamya
Shipam Yajasram
ajasram
Ashubhan
ashubham
asurishve asurishveva yonishu
asurishve
Asurishveva
eva
Yonishu
yonishu
asurim yonim apanna
asurim
Asurim
yonim
Yonim
apanna
Apanna
मूढ़ा जन्मनि जन्मनि
mudha
Mudha
janmani
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 माम आप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय
Mam
Mam
aprapyaiva
apraprya
kaunteya
kaunteya
ततो यान्ति अधमान् गतिम्.
tato
tato
yanti
yanti
adaman
adamam
gatim.
gatim.
Translation, anyone?
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence.
Thank you, Mataji. So what Krishna is saying, those kind of people are going to be, that's their most likely their last human form of life, unless and until they again get some mercy after some thousands and thousands of lives again, because they are going to be perpetually cast in the ocean of material existence because of all the bad things that they did, and they are going to take life in the demonic species of life, like the animalistic life, and they keep on taking this repeated birth and death among these animalistic life. So this is the opportunity that we got. Either we take, if we take to the Krishna consciousness, we go back home back to Godhead in one lifetime. If we at least stay following the four principles of Dharma, even if we are not chanting, at least if we do those Satyam, Daya, Saucham, Tapa, means always truthful, always kind, always clean in our relationships with anyone, or in terms of our dealings with everyone, the only illegal activities. And tapa, austerity, means anything that we do, tapa is important, austerity is important. It is said that in this material world, there are three Ds that are that will make anything successful. What are those? Determination, dedication, and discipline. If we are determined, we will always continue to pursue our goals. We have to have the dedication, and then the discipline means doing the same thing again and again, even if our mind tells us not to do. And the dedication should be overcome whatever obstacles, we should be able to dedicate that to the path. All these three will are considered to be the tapa, means any activity that we do, the tapa is required. So even if we are not chanting, at least if we follow the four regulative principles, then we will be able to continue in this human form of life and do more things in this world. But if we don't do, if we are unkind to people, if we are not truthful, if we are unclean, and if we don't have that tapasya, means always sleepy or always in the mode of ignorance we read in the previous chapters, then we'll be cast into the lower species of life. And that is also we discussed, right? It's kind of a demotion. If we got a huge responsibility and if we are not taking care of the responsibility, then who is it to blame? It is us. We did not have that small desire to go back home, back to God, or even render some service or render some good things that are as per the Dharma. Vividam narakasyedam
Trividam
Vividam
narakasyedam
dwaram
narakasyatam
nashanam
dwaram
dvaram
nasanam
nasanam
atmana
atmanah
kama krodastata lobas
kama
kama
krodas tata
krodastata
lobas
lobas
tasmadetattrayam tyajet.
tasmad etatrayam
tasmadetattrayam
tyajet.
yajet.
Translation, can someone read?
There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to degradation of the soul.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So, if we talked about the animalistic species of life, but there is one more thing. It is not like, okay, I will go perpetually into animal life, and then what is wrong in animal life, people will say, because the atheistic mentality is like that. But you don't understand the animalistic life, you don't have any control. The nature will pull you in different direction. Like, let's say we take birth as a squirrel, and in morning everything we partner with another squirrel, we raise nice baby squirrels like family, and then suddenly one fine day, then we are looking for food, and we are trying to cross the road, and one car hits. What happens? Gone. Like and then other species of life. And similarly, it might not be the squirrel, but in the animal kingdom, one animal depends on the other animal. Even if we take, we can't think that will be that will be a happy life. It's because some people, I have heard people say that, oh, okay, well, yeah, enjoy this human life, who knows what happens. Next life, animal life is better than human life. Let's go into animal life. No, animal life is not better. Actually, it is very, very worse. You can't imagine uh, all the animals are suffering. Some people who go into their animal life when they sometimes whatever be the reason they recollect their previous life, they start crying like why like that. So don't take up to animal life. But what I was going to say is it's not like okay from human form of life you will directly go into animal form of life. There is a step in between. What is that step? We will be dragged by the Yamadutas to the hellish planet. We have to, our soul will first go to the hellish planets, take the body that will give us more and more pain. And in Garuda Purana, it is mentioned all the different types of hells that are there. And after going through all that misery, then we'll be put back into the animal society. It is not like a direct jump. There will be, so what are those things that will take us to hell? You know, anyone knows the Arishad Vargas? Means the six anarthas, means the six things that we should avoid. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Means Kama means lust, desire, material desires. Krodha, anger. Kama, Krodha, Lobha means greed. Moha means illusion. Mada means pride. Matsarya means envy. So if if we have some pride, that's fine. That in that pride, let's not do any things. If we have the pride that okay, I'm a great person, you did a lot of effort, so you got some name and fame. That's okay. You have some pride. That's okay. That's not going to take you to hell. You have some envy. We all have envy, which is we are all envious of Krishna. We wanted to enjoy independently. We told the Supreme Father, Father, I am going to go. I don't want to enjoy in your shadow, or I have been in your shadow for so long. Some people say that when they go to the father and say even their father was successful, they feel that oh they are not getting that name and fame, so they will say to the father and say, Father, I'm not going to stay in this house anymore. I'm going to go out, try my own, and don't come and help me. Only if I come, then help me. Same thing we did. Why we did not want to stay in relationship with the Supreme Lord. We want to enjoy independently. So we came to the material world and we told Krishna, Krishna, please don't come for me until and unless I come for you. So Krishna is keeping his word over what we asked him to, and that's why he is not coming. So envy is there in everyone towards the Supreme Lord. We all want to be Lord ourselves. That's why each and every one of us came in this material world. And of course, we are all in moha, illusion, thinking this is my family, this is my job, this is my car, this is my house. Aham mameti. They're always thinking mine, mine, mine. So those will be going away if we do chanting, like the moha, mada. Mada will go away because we start realizing that we are just like parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and everyone is trying for the same. 4.11. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyam anvartman vartante manushya partha sarvasaha. Means Krishna is saying, everybody in this world is on my path. Some are running, some are walking, some are confused, some are determined, some are uh, tired and taking some rest, some are taking a detour. Whatever be the case, they all are essentially on my path. If we know that, then we will not judge other people, and then we don't try to show we are great compared to them. So all these good qualities will come with chanting, but then these bad qualities, of course, chanting will remove these also, but we have to be very careful about these bad qualities. What are those? The three things: lust, greed, and anger. And if you think about it, these three are also the ones that are mentioned in chapter 26. How do we get these? The root cause of anger we discussed, right? What is the root cause of anger? Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangastepu Sangastepu Sangasteshupajayate Sangat Sanjayate. Anyone remember? Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodhat Avijayate. Which means that um, when we are contemplating on material things, we develop a strong attachment for them. And that attachment will develop into deep desire. Desire means that lust. And with that desire, what happens? If the desire is fulfilled, we are satisfied? No, because it's material desire, it doesn't give us full satisfaction. We want more and more. So greed develops. If the desire is not fulfilled, what happens? Anger develops. So what we have to understand is we have to control our thought process. We have to try to not keep on contemplating on things that are material in nature. We have to always contemplate on the spiritual things. If we do that, then we'll be free from these three things and we will not even go on the hellish side. And if we do the chanting process, then we also will go back home back to Godhead, because the other three anarthas, moha, mada, matsarya, will also go away. Yah shastra vidim utsrujya
Shastra vidhim utsrujya
vartate kamakarataha
vartate kamakarataha
nasa siddhim avapnoti
siddhim avapnoti
Noti.
nasukam na param gatim.
nasukam na param gatim.
Translation, anyone?
He who
Go ahead, man.
Thanks, Prabhuji. He who discards spiritual injunctions and acts according to his own whims attain neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So basically, what happens if somebody is not following these spiritual injunctions? They are not saved either in this world, in this life, or in the next life, where there is no happiness. They will not even reach the back home, back to Godhead. They are not going to attain supreme perfection, means like any kind of liberation, or they are not going to get happiness also. Imagine you are causing misery to someone. What kind of happiness is that? That is not real happiness. Imagine that you are doing all the bad things. Do you get any happiness? No, that happiness is all uh, thinking that it's happiness, but that's not real happiness. And after it, sooner or later, everybody realizes that why did I do this like that? So we should be very careful in terms of, and these are the four things that were mentioned, right? Which are the meat eating, intoxication, illicit relationships, and gambling, going directly against the four legs of dharma: satyam, saucham, daya, tapa. So if we avoid these four things, then we establish dharma in our life, and we also, if we do chanting, we bring Krishna into our life. And if we follow any of these things, then we are associating, we are embracing Kali. And when Kali comes, it is havoc. He is going to make us. Uh, this age is called the Iron Age, where there is. It is all, so the Satya Yuga is called the Golden Age. Treta Yuga is called the Silver Age, and Dwapara Yuga is called the Bronze Age, and in Kali Yuga it is called the Iron Age. And in this age, everybody keeps on quarreling with the other person. There is no reason for anything. Just for a small reason, they start quarreling. And we can see that ourselves. Right? Just for no reason, we friends and friends start fighting. And relatives go take so much personally, and one small word becomes a big thing, and everybody starts fighting. But if we follow this Krishna consciousness, or even following the four regulative principles, we stop giving importance to anything anyone says. We don't even say wrong things in the first place. If people get offended, we even our mistake is not on the side, we'll say we apologize, and we stay calm. Let them have their things, because we know that our goal is different. Our goal is not to sit there and fight here. We have a higher purpose, and we need to not waste any moment wasting our time fighting with people. We have to spend time chanting and following the righteous path. Tasmat shastram pramanam te
Tasmat shastram pramanam te
karya karya vyavastitau
karya karya vyavastitau
gnatva shastra vidanoktam
gnatva shastra vidhanoktam
karma kartum iharhasi.
karma kartum iharhasi.
Can someone read the translation?
One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually get elevated.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So we take guidance from the Vedic scriptures to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done. And if we follow the rules and regulations, then we will gradually get elevated, the yoga ladder we discussed. But if we don't want that gradual process, and if we are so much tired and frustrated with this material life, then we can easily take the elevator and go back home, back to Godhead, where we'll be able to get out within one lifetime by taking the process of chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita every day in the process. So that concludes the 16th chapter. We'll now see what Krishna is saying about the divine qualities. Sri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan Vacha
Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhir
Abhayam
Abhayam
Sattva
Sattva
Samsuddhir
Samsuddhir
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi
Jnana
Jnana
Yoga
Yoga Vyavastitihi
Danam Damascha Yagnascha
Damanam
Damanam Cha
Damascha
Yajnascha
Yagnascha
Swadhyaya Stapaj Arjavam
Swadhyayastapa Arjavam
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas
Ahimsa
Ahimsa
Satyam
Satyam
Akrodas
Akrodas
Tyaga Shantirapaisunam
Tyaga
Shantir Apaisunam
Daya Bhuteshwaloluptam Luptvam
Daya
Daya
Bhute
Bhuteshwaloluptvam
Mardavam Hrir Achapalam
Mardavam Hrir Achapalam
Teja Kshama Dhritir Saucham
Teja Kshama Dritih Socham
Adroho Nati Manita
Adroho Nati Manita
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Abhijatasya Bharata.
Translation, anyone?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austera- austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom for covetousness, gentleness, modesty, study, determination, vigor, forgiveness, uh, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. So, Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book, we were saying, right? So, let's say it's a guidebook for living the proper life, like righteous life. Even if you take like this verse as an example, Krishna is saying that if you want to have divine qualities, if you want to be a divine person with all the nice qualities, these are the things. Follow these. What we should be fearless. How can we be fearless? Again, it goes back to chanting, because if we know that the Supreme Lord is behind us, always protecting us, that is real fearfulness, real fearlessness. If we don't know, like example, a child will always be fearless in presence of his parents. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. But if the child is alone, away from the parents, fearfulness automatically comes. They are afraid of everything. Same thing. If we know that for Krishna is there for us, our Supreme Lord is there always protecting us because we are engaged in His service, then real fearlessness comes. Srila Prabhupada, like he always chants, and he had so many disciples all over the world. And a few years later, in general, he has these discussions with his disciples, and they ask so many questions. And one fine day, one devotee, one disciple asked, Prabhupada, like we chant and we get so many thoughts and so many things like that. But what happens to you when you chant? Prabhupada says, I become fearless because The chanting is associating with the Supreme Lord by his name. There is no difference in the absolute platform between the name, form, his name, qualities, and the Supreme Lord himself. So when we associate with the Supreme Lord through chanting, fearlessness automatically comes, and we will be ready to handle any situation in life. And we become pure. This process purifies our body, whether it is a subtle body or the gross body. We automatically get spiritual knowledge. We perform charity. What is the highest welfare work? Why are we? Why do we see people in ISKCON going on the streets and distributing Bhagavad Gita? Some people think that Bhagavad Gita is a very pious book. Why are these people bringing Bhagavad Gita to the standard of road, like to the roads and all? No, because if the who is going to have the uh, like how are people going to approach Bhagavad Gita? Like it is a you don't know where to buy the book, what book to buy. There are so many versions which is going to give the right information. But that is what the highest welfare work is. It is said that um you teach a person, you keep on feeding a person fish, they will always depend on you. But if you tell him how to fish, they will not depend on you. But here we are even telling that you don't even need a fish also. Basically, what we are saying is, yeah, of course, if somebody is hungry, we have to give food, and ISKCON does that, which is through the Food for Life programs, or Prabhupada says that within the 10 miles, 5 to 10 miles radius of ISKCON, there should not be anybody who should feel hungry. So in ISKCON, we have the Sunday feast program, serving prasadam freely, and if doing relief activity. Of course, yes, if somebody is hungry and we say, sir, you're hungry because you did a lot of bad karma, and they will take a stone and throw at us. But we have to feed them. Once they are satisfied, we also then, if we tell them that what is the purpose of life. And also, if there are people who are not hungry but sad in this world, or miserable in this world, feeling a lot of suffering and all, they don't have the problem with the four basic necessities, right? Eating, sleeping, family, and shelter. But those are the people who are suffering, that the Bhagavad Gita will help them understand how to solve the suffering. The thing is, it is the world that we are in, Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, where we can't expect to go to a place of misery and expect happiness there. We can't go to a place of a hospital and think that it will be pleasant. It will be always pain there, whether it is due to whatever diseases that we get, or whatever treatments that we are getting. Sometimes it will be like, mostly it will be like that. So what I'm saying is, in terms of charity, book distribution, and all the things that we are doing is the topmost welfare work. That's what is mentioned, because we are helping the person solve their problems permanently, which is take the path of self-realization, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity we discussed, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness we discussed, freedom from anger. Anger is not a gate to hell. Renunciation will come, because the real renunciation is renunciation from the mind, not just from the body. Tranquility, they become peaceful. You see, this is the Susukam Kartum Avyayam. You see the difference by taking the process of chanting and Krishna consciousness yourself. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, the three gates of hell, everybody experiences. But after doing Krishna, taking Krishna consciousness and start chanting, we ourselves will see the difference, where we don't get angry unnecessarily. Our greed is completely gone. We don't hanker for things that are not needed. And of course, the ego is still be there, because here in the material world, where we sometimes get think that why is this person doing this to me? But yeah, essentially we become very tranquil. The tranquility comes. Aversion to fault finding. This whole material world is based on fault finding, because you take work, right? How are people going to get promoted? It's because they do great work? No. They say that this person did not do this, I will do this. Oh, see, this person, this project he tried, it failed, and this is all the faults in it. And the bosses will like that. Oh, yes, yeah, you are right. And then this fault finding, going and complaining, all those things are the ones that. But when we come to path of Krishna consciousness, we don't find faults, because we know everybody is ye yatamam prapadyante, is on the path of Krishna consciousness only. They might be taking the long path or the short path, it doesn't matter. And the analogy that was given is between a honeybee and a housefly. When you have a garden, right? Or yeah, when you have a garden full of flowers, and then or let's put the other way around. When you have a very dirty place like a graveyard or some muddy place, and there is one flower that blossoms, and what does the honeybee do? It flies through all the bad stuff and lands on the flower, collects the honey, and goes back. And if you have a garden full of so many fragrant flowers, but then a raccoon comes in the night and drops poop in the night and goes away. The next day morning, when the fly comes, will it land on the flowers? No, it goes straight to uh, the excreted matter, enjoys there and comes back. So that is how in the material world we are. We are always trying to find the bad things, but we are not looking at the good things. But if we take to the path of Krishna consciousness, we start seeing the good in everyone, which is we don't worry about the faults. We even though they are in it's a place of filth, we only look at the flower, which is what is the good quality. That also leads to compassion. When we see all the good qualities, we automatically become compassionate. And freedom from covetousness means greediness. We don't want to our greediness goes away. We become gentle, modest, steady. Our determination increases. We become vigorous in terms of our strength, material, spiritual strength. We start becoming more forgiving, fortitude, cleanliness we discussed, and freedom from envy. And so envy. So at one point we reach a stage where we are no longer envious to the Supreme Lord. We are no longer envious towards fellow devotees who are on the path. We are no longer envious to the people who are also not on the path of Krishna consciousness, because some people flaunt or boast that, hey, I have this nice car, I have this big house, but we are on the path and we know that those are not. But once we come to Krishna consciousness, those things don't matter to us. So we start seeing that our envy also goes down. And then we are passionate, and there is no passion for honor. Um, we always want glorification, but that will be going away, because why is we are seeking glorification for honor to seek satisfaction. We did this great work, and we are not satisfied with the work unless someone says that we did great work. No, when you come to Krishna consciousness, when we did great work, we already know Krishna is happy with that. Then we don't really seek any honor or respect from others. And these are all the transcendental qualities that make us more divine. So it is mentioned that in the Satyuga, the divine and the demoniac resided on different planets. For the mountain, what is it? Samudra Madanam, right? Which is churning of the Milk Ocean. Different planets, the demoniac people and the divine people came and churned it. But when the Treta Yuga came, both the divine and demonic resided on the same planet, like Ravana and Rama, but they were in different families and regions, like in Lanka and Ayodhya, like that. When the Dwapara Yuga came, both the demoniac and divine took the birth in the same family, like Kauravas and Pandavas, but they were different, easily identifiable from their nature. But in Kali Yuga, it is mentioned that both the divine and demoniac qualities are actually in the same person. There is nobody in this world who says that I am perfectly divine or perfectly demoniac. Each and every one of us has both the divine and demonic qualities. All the things that we read in this chapter, all of us have. There are so many analogies also from different Native American things, like they saying that this mind has two wolves. Which wolf means the wolf that you feed. So there is the bad wolf and good wolf. So same thing. We have the divine nature and the demonic nature. The more we try to inculcate our divine qualities, the more divine we become. The more we focus on the demoniac qualities, the more demoniac we become. And there was a uh, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as Lord Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this particular Kali Yuga. And one might ask, like in all the previous yugas when Krishna came, he used the weapons to kill all the demoniac persons. Like Rama, he killed. Ravana, he killed. Rama killed Ravana, and then Narsimha killed Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and all these people. But in Kali Yuga, if he decides to kill all the demoniac people, who he has to kill? He has to kill everyone, right? Because in Kali Yuga, everyone has both divine and demoniac. There is nothing like this person is only divine. So that's why his weapon in this Kali Yuga is the one that will kill the demoniac qualities, not the person. So that weapon is the chanting of the holy name. And that supreme power that the holy name of Krishna can deliver the most sinful of the sinners is exemplified in the pastime of Jagai and Madhai. Holy name can remove the demoniac qualities in our heart, where um, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself and his associate Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. Whenever Krishna comes, Balaram also, Sankarshan also comes with him, as Balaram also comes. So when they came, there were in that village, there were two bad people, Jagai and Madai. They were very demoniac. They don't have any good qualities. And Nityananda Prabhu, he is so compassionate. He went started preaching to them. They get so irritated and hit him with a pot, liquor pot, and he starts bleeding. And immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes angry because Krishna will tolerate any offenses against him, but Krishna will never tolerate any offenses done against a devotee. So he immediately takes up his Sudarshan Chakra, and immediately Nityananda Prabhu falls at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like, please don't. Did you forget why you came? You are supposed to kill the demoniac qualities, not the person. So immediately he takes his Sudarshan Chakra back, and then looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's real form, they get shocked and they immediately beg pardon, and later they become very great devotees, Jagai and Madhai. So what we have to understand from that is it is the nature, divine, demoniac qualities that we need to kill. Don't look at some person and label them as this is the demoniac person. It is the demonic qualities within them that we should help them remove. Okay, so these are like the Gita kit. If anyone did not have Bhagavad Gita or you don't have the chanting bag or the chanting beats, please reach out to us and we can get some. Any questions before we close today's session?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, actually, talking about the fearlessness, Prabhuji, in 1 second, Prabhuji. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, talking about the fearlessness, Prabhuji, actually, in the 6th chapter, actually, Krishna says, Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tata. That is in the Dhyana Yoga. Yasmin stito na dukkeshu guranapi vichalyate. So, that the evenness of the mind, that which is achieved is the greatest wealth of all wealth. And once you are situated in that state, yasmin stito, in that sthiti, if you are, na dukkeshu, you will not be be subjected to grief. Guranapi vichalyate. You will not even be shaken in the greatest of the calamities. Or greatest of the difficulties. You will not be shaken. So just wanted to correlate the Dhyana Yoga with the fearlessness that you were talking.
Yeah, so the two things that you mentioned is we may not be exactly like fearfulness, right? Because it is whatever be the difficulties, we get the ability to sustain. Like Krishna says, titikshama tam stitiksha bharata means we have to tolerate. Even Krishna is saying that in chapter 2 also. All the miseries that we get, we have to tolerate them. And Gnana Yoga or any other yoga process will give us the ability. But only if we know that there is the Supreme Lord behind us, we will be able to do things that nobody will dare to do. Like even the devotees we see they go to places in Russia and China, which is very dangerous, and it is not even allowed to do preaching there. But they risk their lives and go there. Why? Because they know Krishna is going to there. So many stories that we read about the ISKCON devotees who are saved by the hand of Krishna, which if not, it's a miracle that how they get saved. So with that, they become more and more fearless. Yeah, you can take either way, but yes, whatever be the yoga process, if we know that there is a Supreme Lord that is going to protect us, we automatically become fearless.
Yeah, there is no doubt on that, Prabhuji. There is Kshetrajna, you already spoke. Yeah, Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam, you just said during the 15th chapter, that he is situated in the heart. So there is no doubt about the divine behind us, divinity behind us.
Very nice. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. If not, we'll say Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times and we'll close today's session. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna
भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा की जय, श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai.
All glories to Krishna, Hare Krishna. All glories to Vaishnava devotees, Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
everyone, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.